Hi guys, welcome back to the next part of the series. Today we're going to continue with the Axe Retopology, which is this piece right here. Now, unfortunately, this piece is really heavy. 1,970,000 triangles. So I know the retopo flow is going to have some issues with this one. Now, it's not really complex. As you can see, we only did that to keep the really sharp edges right there. But it's not that complex. It's symmetrical, which is a good thing because we're not going to have to do double the work. So yeah, the first thing is, of course, going over here and do some decimation. So we're going to go to decimate. And in this particular case, I think since it's not a complex piece, I'm gonna go really low. I'm gonna go all the way to 0.08, something like that. I'm gonna hit enter, but I'm gonna pause first because this is definitely gonna stuck my computer. There we go. So I did it properly, and now as you can see, we're all the way down to 157,000. So we're going to go retopo flow, and we're going to start at active, and we're going to jump straight into drawing our elements. In this particular one, I think, again, we can use X symmetry. That's perfectly fine. And we're going to use polypen. We're going to start on this point right here. And again, don't worry about this, guys, okay? Like all of those bevels that we added, those are actually not that important because we're going to be capturing them with the silhouette itself. So for instance here, I'm going to go to right around the center, go right there, one more, one more, one more, and one more. There we go. This triangle, I think it's a little bit more important, so I am going to try to keep it. So just very simply capture the element right there. Now for this particular one, we actually do want to keep things as clean and as precise as possible because it's supposed to be a blade. So the stronger this blade can look, the better it's going to be for us. So I'm going to go here, here, and all the way there. Let's move this a little bit right there. Perfect. On the triangle side of things over here, of course, we're going to start there to the center. Let's bring this to the corner right around there. There's going to be a little, I already know that there's going to be a little bit of an issue right there. So in order to avoid as much as possible, I'm going to push this triangle back. Even if that means that I'm going to have another triangle right here to properly capture that element. Because whenever you have big overlaps, you start getting some weird errors. So let's push that right there. Let's go out, create a triangle, perfect. From here, we go over here, there we go. And we're going to keep it really simple this time around. Careful there, I don't feel like I actually touched. There we go. So I want to make sure that we have the triangle right there. I don't feel like sometimes this thing struggles with this type of symmetries. I'm not sure if I had double symmetry right there or what. That's really weird. There we go. And then from here, remember, anytime we have a curvature, at least 3. I'm going to show you a very cool trick here. I'm going to do 1, and then over here, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5. But again, to simplify this, because we don't want to have as many of these points as what we got right there, we're going to start triangularizing. So just going to collapse some of these guys so that we don't have as many, but we still have a really nice, clean curvature right there. And I've seen some people go really crazy with those lines. I don't think it's necessary to go 20 sides right there just for that specific curvature. There we go. Again, very important that this one is as close as possible to the actual point right there. Things are gonna get a little bit tricky in this area because the camera is not gonna allow us to actually see the vertices cleanly. Now, if this happens again, don't panic. Let's just keep working, and later on we can just fill that in relatively easily with traditional tools. So again, here we're gonna do 1 triangle, and then 2 square, 3 triangle, 4 square. See that? And that way we save ourselves quite a bit of polygons. We keep things really clean. This is fairly straight, so just go right there. We're following the sort of bevel, so might as well just carry it on until the very end. Here, however, at this point, I'm gonna use it for that little triangle right there. Again, really complicated piece right here. Really complicated triangle. Let's see if it lets us. There we go. There we go, as close as possible. Work, nice. I think it did work, but we're not seeing it. Let's go over here. Perfect. Should be around there. If it doesn't match perfectly, we'll get it together in the next one. Then from here, we start getting a little bit of a curvature here. So we gotta be careful on capturing that, even if it requires, as you can see here, a couple more triangles. That's fine. There we go. And this is just a big triangle. Let's change to quads. Over here in Polypen, we're gonna do quads. We're gonna go all the way to the top. Again, that's a big bevel, so but it's fine. I think we can capture it on the side of things. Yeah, I think we captured on the side. So all the way over here. 1, 2, 3. All the way over here. There we go. Let's start dragging this vertex to the center line so they're properly welded together. Again, if we miss one, that's no big deal. We can check that before we do the final effect. Over here, let's do triquad again. So we're gonna go right there and all the way to the tip. There. There. Because remember that with the games, we don't have the option to subdivide the object, right? Like we cannot do like support edges and everything like that. So that's why in this particular case, it really helps for the whole thing to be really like jaggedy and sharp on the borders. It sort of gives us a sort of stylized look as well. Like the textures that we're going to be doing, and again, you already saw them on the thumbnail, were more realistic, but the silhouette is very stylized. So this is very cool, I think, and that's one of the reasons why I like this concept. It's because we can generate a really nice contrast between stylized forms and realistic materials. There we go. Cool. So as you can see, we've successfully done the whole border around the thing. Yes, we might have missed a couple of triangles, but we're gonna solve those very, very soon. And now we just need to fill everything in here. And ideally, we want to try to do it as clean as possible. So for instance, here, this square, I'm just going to go all the way back. And the reason we want to do this as clean as possible is because we're still missing the volcano. And as I mentioned before, we're actually going to be combining the blade and the volcano into a single piece. And the cleaner we have all of these elements, the easier that the combination is going to be. So in this particular case, as you can see, I'm just pushing all of the elements in such a way that we have like a center line. So like right around there. Over here, again, if in question, just add one loop when needed to make things a lot easier for us. So for instance, we can keep this, let's do triquad. This can be a triangle right there. This can be a quad. This is another triangle right here on the tip. Again, loops. Let's just add 1 and 2. Make our lives easier on this bridge right here. Over here, actually we're gonna add one loop, but I'm gonna add it right here. And then with the polypen, I'm gonna push this up, just the point. And I'm gonna create an interesting effect right here. So this one is gonna go up right there. And then this one's gonna go right there. And then here, as you can see, we can just combine this two. So we get this sort of like L shape on the object. It's a very good way to minimize the amount of polys that are going up. So over here, over here, over here. Here, for instance, we can triangulate those. It's not going to affect anything because we already have the border right there. We can go there. Let's go square right there, right there. Oh, right there, right there. And again, we have a weird effect right here, but it's just a square with a triangle right there, right? And by doing that, we have successfully completed this. Let's get out of Retopoflow. I'm not going to subdivide this. I know this looks very low poly compared to everything else we've done so far, but this is fine. Now, the only thing that we were missing is this center line right here. So I'm going to go to Etch, and we're going to fill that in. Oh, wait. Let's apply this. There we go. Now we go from one edge to the other, and we fill. And we go from one edge to the other, and we fill. Oh, it seems like that one's already filled. Okay, cool. So now we're just going to go with our cut tool, and we're going to go from that point to that point. Oh, it's not letting me. Really? Okay, let's go back. Since we already have that line right there, it might be easier to just go from that guy to that guy and do a fill, and from that guy to that guy and do a fill. There we go. I'm still a little bit hesitant. We'll use a smooth modifier in just a second to make sure it mixes. Over here, these two guys, just M at center. And everything else seems to be doing right. I don't love this line right here. So this edge, I'm going to dissolve the edge. I think I prefer that sort of like shading over there. Let's throw in a very quick subdivision surface, and here's where we're going to see if things break. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's breaking right here. So everything else seems to be subdividing nicely. That's a good sign. But over here, things are not subdividing nicely. So as you can see right there, that means that something's not like connected. Let's go back to vertex mode. Let's press G. That does seems to be connected. We have like extra faces or something. It's like a non-manifold geometry. Kind of looks like non-manifold geometry. Let's see. It does seem to be smoothing there. Okay, another option or another thing that we can do is we can go to face mode. Let's delete some faces and see where the problem is. I mean, I can already like imagine that the problem is that line right there. We can delete these faces. Let's throw in, or let's just see how this, yeah, so as you can see, that's like unfolding a lot more like nicely now. Now let's go to etch mode. And let's just re-bridge this thing right here. And let's see if that solves it. It's a little bit better. At least this thing is unfolding a little bit better. I'm a little bit concerned about this one's right here. Let me grab like a point. Just press G. I'm using the point technique to just make sure that all of the vertices are together. But yeah, they seem to be. So I'm going to keep it like this. Again, it seems to be working fine, and that we're getting a nice silhouette. Let's do a shade smooth. Whoa, no shade smooth. Let's do a shade auto smooth. There we go. So we'll find which ones are the ones that need to be shaded. Ideally, we would shade smooth everything. Another thing that we can do to alleviate a little bit of the tension that we have right here is, especially this one's right here. Let's see if I can bevel them a little bit. That's the problem with this sort of like low poly things. I mean, that's going to give us a really weird, ugly face right there. Let's keep it for like this for now, and we'll figure out in the baking section to see if it works. It should work. I've done this before, so it should work. I am a little bit concerned about this shade smooth, but even this shade smooth can be fixed later on. Again, we can use this shade auto smooth, which is giving us a slightly better result. But yeah, let's do it for now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is gonna be the, let's call this a blade. Hi. sorry, blade low, and eventually we're gonna do blade out. You know what else could help with this thing before we finish? Is deleting the faces right now. So if we go to wireframe and we go to face mode, because we're gonna be doing this symmetrically, right? So if we delete all of the faces on one side for now, that should also help with the whole shading thing. Yeah. Let's see how this looks. Solid. Let's try the shade smooth again. Shade auto smooth. Okay, that's helping, or it's working a little bit better. So yeah, we're gonna keep it like this, my friends. This again is gonna be the blade low, goes into the low polys right there, and I believe this plane right here was the blade high, right? Yes, so this is gonna be blade underscore high. And we're almost done with this like retopology process. We're just missing the volcano and merging it, because we're gonna merge it with this low poly right here. So for the volcano, I'm gonna show you one last retopology technique that you could use for your elements. It's a little bit unorthodox, but it works really well, especially for organic things like this, like environments. So yeah, let's get to it.